Welcome. My name is Cameron Lee, and you're listening to a series on the Old Testament book of Micah called Heartache and Hope. Episode 9, When Names Become Omens, Part 1. When my daughter was young, many of her friends only knew me from church, and more specifically, from the pulpit. Their image of me was of someone who preached with intensity and drama. "What's it like living with him?" they'd ask. "He's so serious." But my daughter would just scoff at the question. She knew something they didn't know. I can be a real goofball at home. Dad jokes, I think, are wired into my DNA. Not that I remember my own dad ever cracking one. My brain seems to be ever on the alert for another opportunity for puns and wordplay. Recently, I went to the kitchen to get a snack of roasted cashews, one of my favorites. My wife passed me in the hallway as I walked back toward the study, dish in hand. Struck with sudden inspiration, I held the cashews up to my face as she passed. I scowled at the dish and said, "Are you nuts?" My wife is a wise woman. She just ignored me and kept walking. But wordplay is not always in the service of humor. Micah's prophecy against Judah is littered with puns. He plays on the names of cities and towns to predict their downfall. Someone of his time, hearing the prophecy in Hebrew, would have understood this, but to us, reading the prophecy in English, the predictions seem random and strange. That's because we suffer from two disadvantages. First, we don't have the Hebrew text in front of us, which for most of us wouldn't matter anyway, because the bigger problem is that we don't know ancient Hebrew. And second, we don't typically think of place names as having much meaning or significance in their own right. To get a sense of what Micah is doing then, imagine someone prophesying the destruction of Los Angeles and saying with all seriousness, "Those living in Los Angeles will go to be with the angels." Or imagine this prophecy against my hometown of Oakland. Oakland will be felled. Similarly, Micah takes the names of cities and uses a Hebrew word that sounds like it to foretell their doom. It's not meant as a joke, far from it. In a culture in which names have meaning and are taken seriously, such a prophecy would sound doubly ominous, as if the fate of a place was already baked into its name and therefore unavoidable. Here then is the first part of the prophecy. "Tell it not in Gath, weep not at all. In Beth Ophrah, roll in the dust. Pass by naked and in shame, you who live in Shaphir. Those who live in Zaanan will not come out. Beth Ezel is in mourning. It no longer protects you. Those who live in Maroth writhe in pain, waiting for relief, because disaster has come from the Lord, even to the gate of Jerusalem." Micah 1, verses 10 to 12. Gath sounds like a Hebrew word for tell. Ophrah sounds like the word for dust, so the inhabitants there will roll in the dust in their anguish and sorrow. Shaphir sounds like beautiful, but the people there will go naked. Zaanan sounds like go out, but its people will be trapped or killed and may never go out of the city again. Maroth sounds like bitter, so their existence will be. Significantly, this part of the prophecy ends with a reference to Jerusalem, the capital of Judah. Disaster has come even there, even though the very name of the city refers to peace or wholeness, shalom. There will be no peace in the city of peace. Eugene Peterson's translation of the passage in The Message captures the tone of Micah's wordplay. "Don't gossip about this in Telltown. Don't waste your tears. In Dustville, roll in the dust. In Alarm Town, the alarm is sounded. The citizens of Exitburg will never get out alive. Lament, last stand city, there's nothing in you left standing. The villagers of Bittertown wait in vain for sweet peace. Harsh judgment has come from God and entered Peace City." The prophecies aren't meant to be taken literally, as if Micah was saying that people would go naked in Shaphir, but not in Maroth, or be trapped in Zaanan, but not in Beth Ezel. That would be to miss the point. which is to say, with the utmost poetic gravity, disaster is coming, it's coming for you, and there's nothing you can do about it. His primary audience is Jerusalem, where he foretells their exile. But as we'll see in the next episode, he's not done cataloging the cities that will fall. There's more ominous wordplay to come.